Global Economic Environment. Rodrigo Carrillo. Global Executive MBA. UBS Business School. 2019. Panorama of the global economic environment. From looming trade wars between the world's most powerful to distribution of capital, shortage of labor in some countries and surplus in others, the world is changing, and so must our knowledge of these changes forever move forward. Trade theory, trade war, China, USA. A trade war is defined as a two or more nation or nation-states imposing tariffs on imported and exported goods in order to get their point across. This type of practice ultimately works as it forces the other nation to do what the imposing country wants. This hurts international trade in general. Trade theory, trade war, China, USA. I currently work in a cardboard packaging plant located in Central America. We rely on U.S. import of paper to the Central American region and Chinese imports as well. The China-USA trade war affects my business the following ways. Growing number of production costs from U.S.-owned paper mills. Production costs have increased because some of the raw materials used to produce cardboard paper comes directly from China. Cardboard paper originating in China has steadily increased in price over the last year, being linked directly to recycled paper exports to China. China announced in September 2018 a tariff on U.S. exports of recycled paper. This disrupts the recycling program established by the U.S. and China. Ningbo Asian Paper is our #1 supplier of recycled bleached cardboard paper. If tariffs continue, Ningbo Asian Paper or APP will not be competitive anymore, hurting local pharmaceutical manufacturers, making medicine costs increase. Conclusions. The trade war affects not only U.S.-China trade, but affects prices of goods and services all around the world. Recycled cardboard prices are bound to increase because of trade regulations. If there is no consensus on tariffs, not only the US and China are going to be affected, but goods from around the world. Distribution of wealth. The distribution of wealth, more specifically income inequality, is an economic theory that states the following. When the rate of return of capital, R, is greater than the economic growth, G, there is an uneven distribution of wealth, making the rich richer and the poor stagnant. Distribution of wealth. Distribution of wealth is important because if the majority of capital is in the pocket of a few people, then capital will not move around an economy, therefore not promoting and stimulating economic growth. This is especially important in my country because capital is in the hands of a few up until a few decades ago, where government involvement had to be taken upon to redistribute land and resources. Theories on the distribution of wealth are especially important in my line of business because recently governments have tried to fix mistakes of the past regarding economic inequalities among social classes. There is no one solution to fix this issue. There is no magic wand to do it either. Governments have relied on raising minimum wages at a very accelerated rate to relieve this problem, but this causes more harm than good. Distribution of wealth. The minimum wage was increased by more than 30% in a span of 2 years. This was in turn done to shorten the gap between the rich and the poor, but in this case, it just led to a rapid spike in basic services and product costs. While it is fair and necessary to increase minimum wage, it has to be accompanied by reforms promoting job creation and a fast but steady growth rate. This increase in wages affected my industry because clients still wanted their product without any increases, but there was a specific increase in production costs. Conclusions. Correcting inequal distribution of wealth is not something that can be fixed in a few years or with 1 or 2 laws. Trying to fix the problem immediately ultimately creates far deeper and complex problems. Government and social institutions must approach this issue with caution and implement programs that work in the long run. Customs union theory. Customs unions theory is the economic theory that binds nations in a specific area to predetermine free trade deals that promote trades of goods and services, making them more powerful against other more developed nations. Central American Custom Union. While there is a foundation for free trade in Central America, there needs to be better trade deals between nations. Borders still act as constricting and bureaucratic institutions that don't promote the passage of goods and services. In the business where I work at the border between Guatemala and El Salvador is highly bureaucratic and corrupt. Money is asked to speed up transit times. Perishable products are the most affected. Conclusions. Central America needs to address its trade agreements and enforce better border control. SICA, Sistema de Integración Centroamericana, was established in 1991. It still faces many challenges for Central American integration as a power economy of the world. Its potential is endless.